the show today, we have an intuitive, empowering, and creative woman's business strategist who works on mindset and rewiring limiting beliefs. She also has a huge passion and focus on authentic marketing and staying true to core values in the public eye. She teaches courses on attitude, gratitude, self-awareness, worth, care, and goal setting, along with authentic marketing. She wants all women to know that everything they desire is readily available when they're operating in their truth and their inner wisdom. Please welcome Danikah Rose. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm excited to talk today because
Yay.
there's a bunch of stuff that you cover that I think, is so important, especially after we're coming out of all the last couple of years that we've been through. It's really shifted like so many people's mindset and their decisions with, do they stay in their current career? Do they shift to something new? And I know one of the reasons that entrepreneurs sometimes have troubles growing their business is with their lack of self-confidence. I think we all got a little chopped off at the knees over these last couple of years. What do you think is the best way that they can boost their confidence right away?
Number one, practice. Confidence is not something that it's just automatic. It doesn't just switch itself on at the start of the day when you open your eyes and you think, I'm going to just wake up and I'll feel confident. It doesn't work like that, because it's almost like we have an idea, society's created it. We have comparison as well, where we're looking around and going, oh well, they do this and they did that, so that, I can do it too. And we want to have that confidence internally, but unless you're practicing it and you're cultivating that from your place of truth, no matter how many times you're looking around and comparing yourself to other people and wishing and waiting for the confidence to happen, right? It's something you actually have to go out and grab it for yourself. You have to take opportunity for yourself to, even in daily practices, if you want an actual tool, you want something that's practical, affirmations are one of them. They're actually crucial to change the way that you think about yourself. If you're knocking yourself down at the knees and going, oh, I should have done that better, self-judgment. Oh, I wish I didn't make that decision because that, okay, but what did you learn from it? When we practice boosting ourselves up, and we are the hype woman and man, we are the hype business CEO. We are looking at ourselves going, you know what, you're a worthy entrepreneur and you did your best. Secondary, are you doing your best? Go through that self-inquiry, and then you'll come to the conclusion that, well, that is where I'm at right now. So yeah. And if it isn't, up your game. Find someone to help you. That's crucial, because that's going to boost your confidence. Having a team around you. Who's in your square? Who's in your corner waiting for you to come back from that fight? Are they going to pick you up? Are they going to boost your confidence? Are they going to be the ones saying, hey man, you did a good job. You did your best. Come on, let's keep going. Try again. Get back out there. I love analogies,
Mm-hmm. What do you think the best way to find those people are? Like, if you're like, I want a hype squad. Like, how do I find one? Like, is there like certain characteristics of people that we should be looking for?
Yes. Oh yes. This is a biggie. Straight away, I was like visualizing what that person might look like. That person looks like your future self. That person looks like someone that you want to be. That person looks like someone that you would work with or for, but you're hiring them. So it's almost like they got to kind of match your vibe. We don't want to be lowballing and saying, well, they're just starting out, so like maybe I can help them and I'm going to spend my time training them. That's amazing. Yeah. But if we want shortcuts here and we want to be with people that already understand that dynamic, they're also looking for you. What you're looking for will be looking for you. When you message someone or you make that call or you click that send for your email and then you receive the reply, you're going to know whether they were actually also waiting for those opportunities. And taking time to rationalize, but also internalize and really like read into it. Take your time. There is no rush to be making decisions. Speak to 5 different people. It's not about prices here. We're not talking how much am I going to pay that person, because if they're matching your energy, whatever they're pouring into your business and their level of pouring into themselves and their level of who else they have in their circle, that is what's going to really solidify, you know, what they're going to add to you. It's not about give and take, or they're going to take this from me. That's also a mindset shift that we can make. When you are going to put people in your team and they're going to match your vibe, go that one step further and pick someone who you admire. Pick someone that has a skill that there's no way that you're going to be able to do that. You're going to be able to look at that and go, whew, I wish I could do that. You're going to be on my team so that you can do that for me, because that's what delegation is, and receiving that you know, the acceptance of the help. And a lot of women, especially, I will say, have a block there with the receiving, because that's that feminine energy. That's about accepting, and it's not about stepping up and saying, hello, I need some help. It's on the receiving end, because you can put that call out there as many times as you want, but you'll always come up with an excuse. There's an excuse there. Oh yeah, but you know, they're not in my price range. That's really not in my budget. Oh, they don't really have that kind of experience that I was looking for. Maybe, oh, they've worked with that other person. So again, comparison. All right, yep, they've worked with someone that maybe you know. Cool. And
What do you think the best way to, like, when we catch ourselves making those comparisons, like you mentioned, what's the best way to correct that behavior or start to, you know, talk to ourselves a different way so we get out of that bad habit of that comparison?
I think in another way, like the thing that comes to mind, you've already kind of said, you've said it. Like the key really is to, rather than have a habit and then come up and butt up against the same habit again, and then cycle back and then come back at it again. And it'll repeat itself in different ways with different people in different scenarios until you replace it with something else. You need to find a way, rather than just having the cycle and then stopping yourself or judging yourself or running yourself down into the ground about it and saying, I shouldn't think like this. I have to stop this. That's resistance there. And that is only going to cause discomfort. It doesn't actually get you past that threshold of discomfort to the change. The change happens when and it's that cliche, get outside of your comfort zone. All right. We could get outside of our comfort zone. Yeah. But let's create a new comfort zone that's further ahead than where we are. And in that creation, sometimes you do need support. You might not have had anyone in your life that actually knew how to speak to themselves in that way, and you were never spoken to in that way. You could liken it to, let's look at marriages. All right, we grow up as children and we see the way that our parents treat each other, how they speak to each other, how they're kind, how they argue, how they talk about budgeting. All of those things are programmed into us, and through our growing up, we have to start parenting ourselves. And we're doing that as entrepreneurs as well. We've got our inner parent going on, and that's that, you know, the guidance, the one that's dominating, this is what you should be doing, that, you know, they've got that presence. We have that presence inside of ourselves based on our beliefs from what we saw growing up. So if you haven't had anybody that had positivity when you did the wrong thing, and you've had someone say to you, you shouldn't have done that. Okay, well, what was I meant to do? And if you don't know how to do what you're meant to do, or what is a better thing, or something that lights you up and makes you feel better about when you've made a mistake, find someone that has the tools, or Google it, look on YouTube, search up again. Affirmations are a huge one, because when we talk to ourselves in negative ways, we can find new positive things to correct the behavior, to change the behavior, to push past the discomfort of, oh, there's that block again. Celebrate it. Get excited about when something is showing up again and again and again. You can really tune into it and go, oh, why is this showing up? Not, poor me, why is this happening to me? I don't understand what I'm meant to do. You're the only one that understands what to do, because you're the only one that knows what you want. And if you don't know, then that's a whole other kettle of fish. That's a whole other topic. Got to get back to what we want to get the steps to how to get it.
For sure. Well, and I think it all kind of like everything that we're talking about kind of wraps into mindset. And you've got to have the right mindset when you're building a business. I mean, that's got to be a massive thing, right?
It's such a foundation. Yeah. And having other people that understand that your vision, because we're future thinking here. This is all about projections. We're not making decisions anymore. Anybody that is listening right now, you can make a choice. When you hear these words, it's a time to decide whether you're going to keep making decisions based on what happened to me before, what's happening to me now, the things that aren't going right, or you can make a choice to look further ahead and say, well, what do I want my team to look like? What do I want my business to look like? What do I want so far as revenue? How can I cover these overheads that I've got that are coming up soon? Because those things might look like, oh, I'm in the red, or, oh, that's a minus. That's a minus to my revenue. I'm not going to have profit if that's a minus. That mindset can also shift with the decision that you can trust it's going to happen always eventually, but what are the powerful steps that I have to take now to be that version, to be that CEO, to be that boss, to step into that power. And when I say power, it's just an internal glow. Power is about really being in tune with that feeling that, yes, this is what I wanted. This is what I had. It's not about anyone else. Business is very individual. It's about you. It's about what you're trying to cultivate. What does your team environment look like for yourself when you show up to work? Or when you're hiring someone and you've got a Zoom meeting? Or when you're taking that phone call and that's the person that you have to check in with once a week because they're doing tasks for you? How does it feel? Is that actually what you want? And if it isn't, the only person that can change anything about that is you. And it's just a decision. It's very simple. It doesn't mean it's easy to change it, but it's very, very simple.
I'm so glad that you brought up about changing, because in order to change our mindset, we have to change our attitudes, we have to change our beliefs to support the growth that we want in our business. What are some things that you think that we could literally do today that would help us change our mindset? Like, what's like the top 3 things that you recommend that we do when we're like, we know that we need to make a change in our life, but we don't know how to go about it?
I would say, I always jump to this one first. I do think it's a little bit to do with my experience over the 15 years that I've been in business and management. Get support. And it's very simple. It's like almost childlike in a way. If you don't know how to do something, then and you're afraid, or maybe you're worried, or you feel ashamed because you haven't nailed it yet. It's like, oh, I haven't got to that point yet. And you really want to change that, but you might not have the tools. It's okay. You might have actually made the mistake and you're only learning small things each time the same mistake keeps coming up. I know some people listening would resonate with that, because they want to know, like, what, why hasn't this happened for me yet? But it's actually the wrong question to ask. So we've got to ask ourselves the right questions. What can I do about it? What is the solution? We can talk about pain points and marketing for a second here. Oh, we want to market to someone. Okay, so what's their pain point? What are they struggling with? Okay, so what solution are we going to provide? All right, that's the end result that they're going to get. Okay, cool. And how are they going to get that? Because this is how we can market our services to people. Now, switch it around. You're the person. You're the one with the pain point. You are your client. Because guess what? You're the entrepreneur. You're the CEO. You're the decision maker. You're the one that's in that zone of genius, in the zone of power, in your own zone. And as I'm saying, like, it keeps on going back to you. It's you, it's your responsibility. It's about deciding, it's about implementing people in putting people into your life that know more than you. It's okay. Everybody's going to know more than you. It's about accept that. You're not the one that knows everything. We already know that. And it's like, oh, you could be upset about it, or you could just grow and you could find someone and go, oh, okay, it's a bit sticky for me. And I'm not really loving that I don't know all the things. But everybody has a team. Do not be deceived. Do not be sucked in. If you see a successful entrepreneur, I did this and I did that, it's like, yep, amazing. And please know that those people are supported by some other firecrackers under their butt, and off they go, because they have put in the work to understand that no one is self-created. And at the same time, we're all self-creating, but there is a team. There's a team. So you've got to get those people that are supporting you. You've got to implement those changes on a regular basis. And another thing that you can change today, if you want to look at a long-term shift, is really to be actually going that one step further outside of the discomfort, away from any games that your mind is playing to do with your fears and your worries and your doubts, and create the vision. Go to back to basics, man. Go back to basics. We just did that business plan 5 years ago. And okay, you're in your 6th year of business. Redo it. Start from scratch. Backspace, 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 and then start creating again. Because every time you go through shifts and you come up against those lessons and you're still saying, well, it might not be working, it's got to change, you've got to learn how to just accept that sometimes things aren't going the way that you want them to go, or they're going great, but you're ready for more. We've got to meet ourselves wherever we're at, and push ourselves. No one else is going to say, hey, I think that you could do much better at your business. I mean, that would be really good if you just hired someone, and then you would have, extra support, and then you can make. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I don't know really who. I mean, if you've got great friends and they might suggest it, but they're not going to do the work. People will believe in you, yes, but that's it. It doesn't really go much further than that. They're not going to push you up a hill. They're not going to pull your hand while they're ahead of you. You've got to actually taking those steps, asking for advice. If you don't know something, find the answer. If you're unsure about your direction, redo your business plan. If that's even difficult for you, it could be as simple as, well, I don't want to be where I am right now, so where am I in 2 weeks? Sometimes it has to be that. It has to be that, because the crisis might be so overwhelming that someone's saying to you, mate, do a 5-year business plan. I'm running away now. And off they go. 5 years, that's a long time. So many things can change in 5 years. And so many things can change in 2 weeks. But what's the decision here? Am I going to change a lot of things in 2 weeks, or am I going to wait 5 years?
I think the most amazing thing about this conversation is that wherever we're at, whether it's good or bad, or you want to be in a different spot, that you have the power to change where you're at. And I think that if if people take anything from this conversation, that is what they should take away, because you have the ability to make any change that you want, no matter how small or how large. You have the choice and you have the power to do that. And even more so, I'm excited because you have opened up a couple spots in your mastermind retreat in September for us. And so tell us a little bit about that, because it's really exciting. I mean, number one, we have to start off that it's in Melbourne. So, I mean, that's huge. But tell us like what we can learn during that mastermind.
This event is something that I'm so deeply passionate about because I've run group sessions before. I've been in group sessions before, and there was so much information to take on board. I definitely missed a few steps. That's as a facilitator. I'm just going to own it. As a facilitator, I missed a few steps because I was so focused on, I need to give them as much value as possible and I've got to jam all this in and it's all good. This time I'm still doing that, but we're also beside a pool. We've got carved out time for journaling. We've got that the luxury accommodation where people can just go off into their own room and everyone pretty much has their own bathroom. Like the house that I've hired is absolutely next level. The property managers that I organized. If anyone's thinking about doing retreats, contact property managers because they know their portfolio inside and out. They're the key, just so you know. For anyone that's thinking about doing events, go straight to the guts of the operation, not Googling and looking just at the photos, because there's always more to a property than just the pictures online. The retreat is very much about women coming into the new season, coming into making future plans. They need to project ahead, but it's about reset. So we've got like a little bit of yoga. I've got another element actually, which I'm very, very excited about, is my professional photographer, Terry. She is an amazing, incredible experienced photographer for like the last 20 years. And if anyone doesn't think that they can make a 9 to 5 out of photography, you need to talk to Terry because this is all she does. That's her career. She's a career photographer. And she's coming along to do mini branding shoots for every participant, because this has to be something that when we level up, we need to present our new self in our business for people that are watching. So watch this space. You're going to have your headshots. We've got a private chef coming along to prepare all the food for everyone, which is really delicious. And one of the nights we're doing like a wine and dine. So everyone has to actually dress up. And that gives another, like we're going out for dinner, but it's on site. I thought that would be really fun. And then at nighttime, we're doing extra coaching and some breath work. And we've got meditations that are going on. And yeah, it's all very much about integrating the information when we absorb it and then letting it settle while we relax.
And where's the place where people can sign up for that?
I have it on my website right now. So I've got, especially Instagram, my favorite platform. Oh my goodness, I love it.
Me too.
Link in bio. So if everyone goes to the link in the bio, that one is the easiest way to find me, Danikah Rose Creative. And that's my branding on Facebook as well. So I've got an event open up there. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I'll be sure to link that in the show notes so people can find it. And then the other thing that I want
Thank
to ask
you.
you, because I'm excited about this, I love to ask every single guest this one question is, what is one piece of advice that you would give to a small business owner?
All right. One piece of advice.
I know it's hard,
Tune
isn't it?
in. It is a little bit, but I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm fired up about this question already. I want people to tune in. Tune in because only you know. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of distraction, comparison, competition. There's a lot of planning and logistics and time. And there's all of these restrictions. I mean, I've got 4 children myself, bless their souls. It's not a restriction if I don't allow it to be, but definitely my schedule has to adjust. We have to make adaptations in our day-to-day life. And the only way that as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, that you're going to feel, as any business owner, you're going to feel more successful when the steps that you're taking are based on how you feel, how it sits with you in your day-to-day life, because all of those tiny things add up to the bigger picture. And if you can really tune in and know that where you're going is what you really, really, really want, that's when I think you will thrive. I do believe that. And I've taken a lot of pivots and a lot of steps, and I've had businesses that I've sold because they just weren't in alignment anymore. And I've changed industries a few times, and I'm still a hospitality girl at heart, but using that restaurant management skill now, I'm tuning in to what feels good. And that's actually sharing a lot more and being available. So I'm here for you. And I'm here for this podcast. 200 episodes very soon.
I know, it's so
You
exciting.
crazy woman. It's so amazing. So
I know.
inspiring. Look at
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. Well, I appreciate you spending time out of your busy schedule with us today. Thank you so much for sharing this amazing conversation with us. I cannot wait for people to check out your retreat, because I think it is literally the game changer that people have been looking for. So thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Of course.